Welcome back, BBVNs, to episode 5 of our exclusive Ratha Jatra Explainer series. We've been tracking the unbelievable preparations leading up to the Great Chariot Festival. But today we're zeroing in on one of the most breathtaking, kinetic, and spiritually charged moments of the entire event. We're talking about the Pahandi Bijai, the Grand Royal Procession.
So, BBVNs, do you know what actually makes this July 16th procession so physically awe-inspiring? When you really think about the sheer scale of the deities, plus the massive size of the crowds, you kind of have to ask yourself, how do they actually move these monumental figures from the inner sanctum all the way out to those towering chariots? It's not just a simple walk, no way. It is a meticulously engineered, centuries-old spectacle. Section 1. The royal procession begins. Let's look at the sensory start to the Pahandi Bijai. You know, what's really fascinating here is the word itself. The ancient term Pahandi literally translates to the unsteady, joyful steps of a toddler. It actually comes from the Sanskrit word padamundana. Just think about that for a second. The immense divine figures of the universe choosing to move with the charming, imbalanced, step-by-step sway of a child just learning to walk. It instantly humanizes the divine, right? It sets this profoundly emotional tone for the whole journey. And you can practically feel the surging energy of this ritual. During Pahandi, the deities aren't just delicately carried. They are literally pulled, pushed, and dragged in this mesmerizing rhythmic sway. The air gets absolutely thick with the deafening sounds of drums, heavy cymbals, and the thunderous chanting of devotees singing out their names in perfect unison. It's electric. Now, there are actually two distinct forms of this procession. On the outward journey to the chariots, we see Dadi Pahandi. Dadi means line in Odia, meaning the deities move simultaneously, one after the other in close succession, creating this gorgeous, continuous wave of divine presence. But later, during their inward return journeys, like the Niladri Bijai, they use Godi Pahandi. Godi means alone. In that formation, one deity completes their movement before the next one even begins. Section 2. Order of the Divine Movement. So, who emerges from the sanctum first? Following those outward Tandi Pahandi protocols we just talked about, the deities emerge in a strict, cascading order, building the crowd's fervor with every single step. First to emerge from the inner sanctum is Lord Sudarshana. He's followed by the elder brother, Lord Balabhadra. Next comes the sister, Goddess Subhadra. And finally, building the anticipation to an absolute fever pitch, Lord Jagannath himself emerges to meet the sea of devotees. Now, an absolutely crucial detail here is that because they are lighter and have no arms, Lord Sudarshana and Goddess Subhadra are carried aloft the entire time. The servitors lift them up onto their shoulders in a reclining position. They glide through the crowd so smoothly, and throughout the entire Pahandi ritual, neither of these two deities ever touches the floor. Section 3, Mechanics of the Sway. This is all about engineering the divine movement. So that begs the question, how on earth do they move the massive, incredibly heavy brothers, Lord Balabhadra and Lord Jagannath, without causing any damage? Well, this brings us to Senapata Lagi. It's a brilliant piece of traditional engineering designed specifically to protect the heavy deities during this arduous journey. Before they ever leave the temple, servitors conduct this highly specific ritual where they securely fix a thick wooden pillar to the backs of Lord Jagannath and Lord Balabhadra using heavy, thick silken ropes tied firmly around their massive heads and waists. This part is so smart. Notice how that wooden backbone takes the brunt of all the friction, perfectly protecting the divine figures. There's a great quote from our sources that says, "The wooden pillar is touching the floor, but not the deities." It acts like a protective sled, or a buffer. As the deities are dragged and swayed through those massive stone corridors and out into the streets, it's this hidden wooden pillar that grinds against the floor, ensuring the sacred wooden forms of the lords remain completely pristine and untouched by the ground. Armed with those thick silk ropes and the wooden pillar, the servitors can orchestrate that iconic, dramatic, forward and backward swaying motion through the massive crowds. The leverage provided by the ropes and the sliding pillar allows the handlers to create that toddler-like imbalanced step we talked about earlier. They carry the lords forward, pause dramatically, rock them backward, and surge forward again. It creates this majestic, rolling wave of momentum that just drives the crowd wild. Section 4. The Majestic Floral Crowns. Let's look at the incredible artistry of Tahaya Lagi. As the deities sway, they wear these magnificent tahia crowns. These massive floral headpieces are woven from bamboo, banana stem, cane, and a stunning variety of fresh white and orange lotus flowers and basil leaves. And there's a beautiful legend behind this. The story goes that a devotee named Raghu Arikata Das was meditating under the scorching sun. Lord Jagannath, disguised as a milkman, stood behind him holding an umbrella. In gratitude, the devotee asked to provide the floral canopies for the lords during the festival. To this day, the Raghava Das Mata, the very place where that devotee stayed, has the exclusive privilege of handcrafting these single-use crowns every single year. The sheer scale of this botanical artistry is just mind-blowing. Lord Jagannath's towering Mayuraka Chandrika crown reaches over 7 feet high. To put that into perspective, Lord Balabhadra's is also a colossal Mayuraka Chandrika at around 6 feet. Goddess Subhadra wears the beautiful 3-foot Panya, and Lord Sudarshan wears the 2-foot Chula. Just imagine a 7-foot-tall floral crown strapped to the already massive head of Lord Jagannath, swaying violently back and forth through a crowd of hundreds of thousands of people. Obviously, to survive that violent sway, these crowns need serious structural integrity. To make sure that 7-foot floral masterpiece doesn't just disintegrate during the intense pushing and dragging of the Pahandi, it needs an incredibly robust skeleton. The artisans at the Raghava Das Matha use exactly 37 bamboo sticks to construct the frame for Lord Jagannath and 33 for Lord Balabhadra. It is just a perfect marriage of delicate floral beauty and rigid practical engineering. Section 5. Join the BBV festivities. Your local celebration awaits.
We are incredibly hyped for our very own BBV Ratha Jatra kicking off on July 16th. And you absolutely cannot miss the community Bhog on Saturday, July 18th. Definitely mark your calendars right now. Our local celebrations mirror the 9-day cosmic journey, running all the way through to July 24th. The community Bhog on the 18th is going to be a massive highlight for all of us to gather, share a sacred meal, and just reflect on the beautiful mechanics and spirituality of this entire festival. So, armed with all these secrets of the Pahandi sway, Senapada Lagi, and the towering Tahaya crowns, what hidden detail are you most excited to spot at the BBV Ratha Jatra? Will you be looking closely at the base to catch a glimpse of that hidden wooden pillar sliding across the floor? Maybe counting the bamboo struts and the towering floral crowns? Or will you just let yourself get completely swept up in the rhythmic, toddler-like sway of the divine? Think about it, BBVians, and I will see you out there on July 16th.